Howdy. Well, I've been doing these pistol and rifle videos from various countries, so I thought it's only right that I do the U.S. And what you're looking at here are the standard pistol and rifle the U.S. used in World War I. This is not exactly the standard that they had decided on. Actually, this was a substitute standard. You're looking at a M1917 and a Model 1911. Neither one of these is made by the people that were supposed to be making it. This is by Springfield Arsenal. Actually, I think it's made in Israel and marketed by them, but it's in the 1911 pattern, not the A1 of World War II. And this is not a Remington, it's actually a Winchester. Let me tell you a tale about this in case you don't know it. America had decided on the 1903 M1 as their rifle of choice. They basically stole the design from Mauser, and Mauser was mad about it and sued them because he actually had some patents on that. Well, the U.S. government decided, well, it would be better if we just paid them royalties. So for every Springfield they made, they had to pay, I forget what the stipend was, but a small royalty to Mauser, which they did. But along comes World War I. We had been making guns for everybody up until, well, mainly for the Allies, the Germans, not the Germans, the French and the English mainly, up until then. And this had resulted in the industrialization like crazy of America. Well, we were making at one point, Remington was, the Model 1914 Enfield, which was a substitute standard for England. And they shipped them over there and they went, well, this isn't exactly what we wanted, but it'll do. So they used it as a homeland or second tier rifle for their troops. Well, when America got into the war and discovered she had several 100,000 Springfields and decided, we need some rifles, like a few million of them. What to do? Well, they went over to Winchester and Colt and everybody and said, can you guys make stuff to this tooling? And they said, yeah, we'd have to tool up for it. It'll take us months and months and months to do that. We'll probably have to build a factory or two. No, we can't do it right now because we're trying to fill other orders and we're making money hands over fist. And no thank you, federal government, you're not paying enough. So the Pentagon, well, the War Department, went over to Remington with hat in hand and said, and they got the same story from them. Remington had just finished up that 1914 order and they still had their assembly line for it. And when the people from the War Department showed up, they said, no, we can't make a 1903 because we'd have to tool up for it. But we have the tooling for this 1914. So they said, well, what's that like? So they showed one to him and they said, tell me, can you rechamber that from 303 British to 30-06? And they said, hey, that's just a reaming job, no problem. And so the War Department decided on a substitute standard, the Model 1917, which was basically that 1914 Enfield rechambered in 30-06. And this is it. And this particular rifle is not a Remington. This is made by Winchester. And the reason it even says Winchester right here. And the reason is this is when they finally tooled up for it, they replicated all of their tooling and took it over to Winchester because the Remington just could not fulfill all of the War Department's needs. By the end of World War I, we had something like 4 million of these laying about. And you'd think that the U.S. War Department would be smart enough to think, well, you know, we should just change everything to this model here. No, they basically scrapped them all and went back to the 1903. So by the time World War II came around, we were using the 03A3, which was a modern imagining of the old 03. But the Model 1917 was actually the used rifle of World War I. And this is it. I built this thing out of a Sporter. The reason I built it is my Uncle Ben, my great-uncle Ben, actually served in World War I, and I have his boot camp books including his marksmanship book from boot camp on his use of a 1917. And I thought, you know, I really would like a 1917 just like Uncle Ben had. Well, I found a sporterized one, and then my cousin happened to have this stock, and I went to Numerich Arms and got this, and I think I went to eBay for that, and I got the nose cap off of Numerich, and I got the butt plate off of Numerich, and everything else basically is as it was. Put the whole thing together, and I've got a fully functional, as it came out of the factory, model 1917 Enfield. Kind of cool, huh? And they had the weirdest sights on them. See these peep sights? Just gorgeous looking things. Anyway, by the way, it shoots like a dream. This thing is just a really cool rifle. And this, as I said, that came out of the Springfield Arsenal, but it's not it's not exactly what John Moses Browning had designed. They made some improvements, which I don't particularly care for, and I'm looking for parts so I can retrofit it back to the way it ought to be. But other than that, well, the skeletonized trigger is kind of nice. But if you take a look here, take a look at that hole right there. You have to use an Allen wrench to do a takedown on this thing. You know, the whole idea behind Brownings is that you could do it without having to use a damn tool. And I would rather it be that way. Anyway, this is my take on the Americans' involvement in World War I. It probably will be the last of my rifle and pistol series, because I don't have any other pistols that are the designated pistols of that country during any conflict or any action that they had to oversee. So this is it. I'm not going to stop videos, but I'm going to stop them on this particular sub-series, as it were. If you like this, let me know and give me a comment on what you think.